Buddies, welcome to the fourth episode of Brazilian Buddy Show. My name is Andrey, and I'm here to prove to you that we are more than samba, football, and carnival. Today we have the first European guest. She's German, she lives in Brazil, so it's gonna be really interesting to listen to her. So welcome, Gringa.stories, or Julia, or Julia in Portuguese.
Hi, Andre. Thanks a lot for the invite. And this is also my first ever podcast. And I'm very excited to have this exchange with you, talk a little bit about Brazil, about experiences that I have made, and and what else? Yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about like your project, about you?
Sure. So as you have mentioned, my Instagram is gringa.stories. I actually recently started with this project. It was a little bit maybe a couple of side effects from the pandemic, spending a lot of time at home, working at home and not being able to travel. So you're actually thinking about all the nice travels that you have done and all the experiences. For me, living in Brazil would be nice to give people outside of Brazil that have never been here some idea about what it's like, what's actually true about what other people say. Also, where are nice places to go outside of, let's say, the main attractions that you might know. And yeah, maybe also some daily life experiences, about what it's like for me, Julia, to live here, and give some impressions about that.
Awesome. And how did you get here? Like, how started your life in Brazil?
So I actually I'm here for work with my company as an expatriate. I'm working in a multinational company, which is actually from Germany, but is around the world. And I had the opportunity to work some time abroad. And actually, my favorite choice was Brazil. I have been to Brazil once before in 2015 for about 4 weeks, which was also for work. And it was a very short time, 4 weeks back then, but I already started to be interested and excited about this country. So
This is nice.
that was why I was willing to come back here and spend some more time. And then 6 months became actually now 2 years, and then that's how it went.
2 years. 2 years. Like, and where do you live? Like in Brazil?
I live in São Paulo, big city life.
Yeah.
Which was a very, let's say, a contrast, and requires some time to adjust. If you're like me, I'm from a, like, say, medium-sized German city, which means around 300,000 inhabitants. So I've never before in such a big city. So now I'm here in São Paulo. And but trying to explore, on vacation and on weekends a bit more than just Sao Paulo. And you're living also in Sao Paulo, right?
Yeah, I'm from Guarujá. It's a coast city from São Paulo. It's like 1 hour and a half. So I work here and I live here as well. And yeah, I have a contrast as well because there it's life. It's more simple, I would say. And here you have like a lot of people and metro and bus and like crazy work, and it's like a craziness. And I'm getting used to, like, it's really different and new for me because I'm living here. I think it's like 2 years as well. So yeah, it's gonna be like really interesting to live this crazy life in São Paulo.
Yeah. It has some benefits, but also as you come from a city that's very nearby the sea, probably some things that you are missing also in terms of, let's say, being close to nature, right?
Yeah. Do you have any city like similar to São Paulo in Germany?
No, I would say no.
Really?
There is, let's say, there is bigger cities in Germany like Berlin that is and well, Cologne that is also big, Munich, Hamburg. So those are the probably four biggest cities in Germany, which are also interestingly in the north, in the south, in the west, and in the east. So very much dispersed, but it's not comparable.
Yeah, I can imagine. And
it's just different.
which differences can you tell to us, like food? What else? Like, of course, the language. So,
Yeah.
what can you tell us?
So maybe thinking about, let's say, the first time after arriving here, what was for me maybe challenging, or what were the biggest differences? I would say, first of all, the size of Sao Paulo. It just seems to be huge, and you think that you are never ever going to be able to explore the entire city itself, because it's not only a city, right? It has like lots of suburbs, and to be honest, it was scary in the beginning. You just try to figure out on the map, this is where I live and this is where I work, and what else do I need to know and where I have to go.
I can imagine.
But and then the language, I think this is maybe one of the biggest differences, also comparing, for example, when I was in the US, that you don't get very far with English here, so you really have to you have to make an effort to learn the language, I think.
Yeah, like the only thing that I know in German is like danke, danke.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like you speak like fluently in Portuguese. It's really impressive. Like you use all the slangs that we use, and in just 2 years, so it's really impressive. And do you have any tip for someone that are learning the language?
I think what really helps to learn like the basics is to use like some of these language applications, like I don't know, Babo or whatever other they are out there, just to get some idea of the basics. And then it's really like taking a course or having a teacher with you to practice and really use the language. And then once you're here, and then it's obviously easier if you're, for example, working in an office with Brazilians. Like my colleagues, they helped me a lot, and they taught me a lot of things.
Nice.
And then that's the way, just trying to talk. I talked a lot with Uber drivers here in São Paulo. So it's a good training just to talk to people, and this is also one of the I found very impressive things here in Brazil, that people are very open. So you just can talk to everyone. People are very open to talk to strangers, and maybe for me as a European, it's not very common, because Germans are not so, let's say, they don't want to bother anyone. So I rather not talk to you because I don't want to bother you. But here it's like, you look at each other, and then you see, okay, this person also wants to talk, so okay, let's have some talk about whatever. It's actually really nice, I think.
Nice, this is interesting. And you have like all that knowledge in your house, like your boyfriend is Brazilian, so you can practice with him all the time. So
Exactly.
what is the relationship with a Brazilian, like in your opinion, like the differences from your country?
So first of all, I have to say my boyfriend is from Rio. So as you know that people from Rio have a very different accent to people from São Paulo.
Yeah.
And actually, when we got to know each other, my Portuguese was very limited, so I didn't understand a word that he was saying because of his accent. But nowadays we actually talk fluently. But there is a lot of cultural differences.
I can
I
imagine.
I don't know. I have this experience with my boyfriend, who is he's a very warm person. So there is more, let's say, showing affection is much more, I think, in the culture. Not only with boyfriend, girlfriend, but also maybe within family. So there's much more hugging, kissing, touching the other person. So that's something I think very, very typical that me as a German, I have to get used to. So yeah, I think this is one difference.
And it's nice to put here, like when you have a carioca, which is a person from Rio, they do like two kisses in the cheek, like one here and one here.
Yeah.
And in São Paulo, it's just one. Yeah,
Exactly.
and sometimes I do that mistake, like just one and then, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
always confused with this also because you know that
Yeah.
there is something in France as well that depending on where people are from in France, they are kissing 2 times or 3 times even. So
Okay.
yeah, on the cheek,
I-
like left, right, left. So it's confusing.
Interesting.
Yeah, but for
And
example, this greeting, for example, greeting friends and also colleagues with a kiss on the cheek is something that is not common in a German office.
it's like just, hey, hi.
Yeah, like hi.
Okay, like
Going
here
to
we have,
Yeah.
when you're a guy, like you do like, hey man, hey, and that's it, like, hey, hey. And
Uh-huh.
when you're a girl, like you kiss just you kiss girls and boys. And when you're a guy, you kiss girls, and then boys, you just do that. And yeah, it's nice to explain these cultural like greetings that we have. It's really interesting. And like about food, like did you get used to rice and beans in Brazil? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, so this is one of my still big mysteries to find out. I was hoping you
Yeah.
could explain this to me, why why there has to be rice and beans for, let's say, a proper Brazilian meal. I
Yeah,
really want to understand.
I even cannot explain. Like in a week, I eat like rice and beans like 5 times. So I don't know. Like maybe it's something cultural. Like I always used to eat rice and beans with something. Like you can
Mm,
put salad, you can put like any kind of meat, vegetables. So
yeah.
yeah. Or in the weekends you can put some pasta or lasagna maybe. So yeah, I think that it's something cultural and maybe starting in Brazil. I'm not sure, but like
Hmm.
in Germany, do you have like a standard dish or like it's
Well, I think nowadays it's very, very diverse, but let's say from a traditional perspective, maybe our rice and beans is potatoes and vegetables or potatoes and salads. That's also
interesting.
something, yeah, I think it's still a little bit like that, but in the past was even more the potato consumption. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you have any favorite food in Brazil? Like
I
sweet
do
and
lots.
salt?
I really like different kinds of things. Let's say from talking about sweet food, I really like acai.
Açaí, yeah.
Acai, I love acai. So anyone who has invented to eat this in that way is a genius.
Yeah,
And
and I'm trying to explain what is açaí. Like it's a fruit that we have in Brazil. It's like a purple like berry, and like you turn into a like a paste and like an ice cream, and you can eat like with some fruits or how can I say like milk powder or
yeah, cereal,
uh,
banana,
yeah,
yeah.
like you can put a lot of things, and it's really good. Like if you're like watching this, you need to try açaí. And what else?
And from, let's say, from the more salty area, well, I like moqueca, which is
Hmm.
also a traditional dish in Brazil along the coast, more like towards Bahia, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
like a stew that is made with usually fish or with shrimps and a sauce which I don't know the exact ingredients, but I think there is like coriander and I I don't know. I think there's some coconut milk or something like that. I'm not sure, but
Yeah. The cuisine from Bahia, which is a state in Brazil, like it's so rich. We have so many ingredients that even I'm Brazilian and I don't know all the ingredients. Like we can say Vatapá, Acarajé, like Moqueca. We have so many like stuff in that region. It's really good. But I
hmm.
never been there, unfortunately, yet.
And what's your favorite one, despite rice and beans then?
Well, rice and beans. I really like coxinha. I think that it's something so Brazilian and like I really like it. How can I
How do
explain
you
like
explain
coxinha?
coxinha in a short
Yeah,
sentence?
it's like I don't know that word, but you take that the chicken and you turn into something
Shredded,
um,
right?
yeah, like shredded, and you can put like cheese or I don't know how to say catupiry in English, but it's
I know.
yeah, like it's like it's something maybe similar to mayonnaise or ketchup. Like
hmm.
you just put there and it's really good, and you can put a ketchup as well. I really like açaí. I love açaí. I'm from the coast, so it's really normal there.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, my favorite food is white beans, like
Yeah.
my favorite food like ever. And I don't know if it's Brazilian, but I really like it. Really like it.
Nice.
And like for sweet, I can say brigadeiro, definitely. I'm Brazilian, so it's really yeah, it's really normal here and like at parties, and I really like it. You have beijinho, which is like some candies from like specific from parties. Um, what else? Yeah, there is a candy called like Dutch cake. I don't know if
Yeah.
in Dutch like exists.
Ah,
Torta holandesa.
I think it's just, I don't know, I've never seen, because I have lived some time in the Netherlands, I've never seen this cake in the
Ah,
Netherlands.
okay. Yeah.
Interesting. Huh?
Maybe we created that thing like, and for you like the sweet, like maybe brigadeiro as well.
I like Brigadeiro from time to time. It's very rich, right? It's very like
Yeah.
chocolate, very intense, but I like it as well. Um, it's hard. I really like this, like all the fruits that you have here that are just very tasty, and there's such a big selection that I know we don't have back there in Europe. So, or at least it's also very expensive over there and doesn't taste the same. So,
Yeah.
and something that I think that I still think I cannot really adjust, or I
Ah.
tried it, but I'm not really a fan, is the vitamina.
Mm-hmm.
So in Brazil, there is a way to eat avocado in a sweet way, right? You mix it with like maybe with milk and with other fruit. And I thought like when I saw this the first time, what's
I can
happening?
imagine like we put
Avocado fruit.
sugar, right?
Yeah.
I don't, in your opinion, like, do you think that we are like ants? Like we put sugar in everything? We love sweets.
I think the let's say the sweets and the cakes are very sweet, for my
Yeah, that's
personal
true.
opinion. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
I
That's true.
think I think the sweets are very sweet here, the cakes and so on. Yeah, you like the
Yeah,
sweet.
it's really nice. It's really
Mm.
nice. And like talking about like cities, like how many cities did you visit in Brazil?
Mm, I visited. And a number. Let me really think. I've been
Oh, so
to.
that's a lot.
Uh, yeah,
Nice.
2 years. I've tried to see already a lot of places. I went a bit to the south, Santa Catarina, Florianópolis, Blumenau, this area, which is also a bit known for having some German tradition.
Yes.
And I also went to Bahia, some places in Bahia, Salvador, Itacaré. Itacaré is also very beautiful, like a surfer town in
Uh-huh.
Bahia. and also to the north, and to Iguaçu Falls, of course.
Definitely, yeah.
One of the tourist attractions, which is definitely worth it. And a little bit into like Rio and let's say the inside of São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, so already a little bit, but there's just too many places to see.
Yeah, you travel a lot. You travel a lot. This is really interesting. Like, do you have any favorite city? Like,
It's hard. It's hard. I really like Rio de Janeiro, although you think it's maybe people say it's
I'm saying it.
overrated
I'm
and
saying
so on.
anything.
But I think it's a very beautiful city, like the contrast in terms of the sea and the mountains and it's hard to say. I really like Bahia. The vibe is a little bit different, right? So I
Yeah.
like it. And I like the beaches which are not so crowded. So I prefer the places that are a bit more quiet. And of course, in Rio, you might not have this, right? So yeah. But it's hard.
Yeah, I can understand, like, when we talk about Bahia, it's like a place that a lot of music genres like was born there. So we can say Axé, we can say what else? A little bit of forró, maybe. Maybe it's forró. It's in the northeast, but
Yeah.
in Bahia we have a lot of like this thing of Axé. Like, do you have any favorite music genre in Brazil? Like maybe Axé, Axé, forró.
Um, I don't have any specific artist that I like. I'm listening a lot also to radio music, which is more mainstream, but I have like some playlist on Spotify, which is pagode. So I like
Nice.
this sometimes. Yeah, I think this direction. Yeah. And
And
you, what are
pagode.
you listening to?
I like when we talk about Brazilian music genre, I really like pagode as well. Pagode is what I like to listen when I'm at parties. It's really the vibe and the music. It's really like it was built for that, like to drink a beer and eat some barbecues and listen a pagode, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's a kind of music that you need to like regroup your family or friends and just, let's party. Yeah, pagode, I think it's interesting. Axé, if you want to dance, like just put some axé and like that's
Yeah.
it. We have all the songs of axé. If you put like all the Brazilians start to dance and talk and like
Yeah.
start to sing, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, MPB, it's really nice. It's a lot of meanings and it's more a calm song. Yeah, do you have like any favorite like singer in Brazil?
Not really, to be honest, not yet.
Yeah.
No, I haven't found yet one that I prefer. Not yet.
Okay. Okay. And now it's the most like interesting point that I really want to ask to you. Like, you said that we have the biggest, like one of the biggest communities when we talk about German here in Brazil. So you were like in some interesting places that were founded by German people. So we can say Blumenau, Pomerode, Timbó, maybe Joinville. I don't know if it's German, but like there is that European vibe. So, like, what do you think about that city? Is the architecture is similar, the food, the people, maybe?
Yeah, so I think in terms of the history, I think I don't know all the details, but it's interesting that the immigration started so early, right? Already in the 19th century, and then even before World War II, there was a quite significant number of immigrants to Brazil. But when I was visiting there, like Blumenau, and you mentioned Pomerode, which is one of them, it's said to be one of the most German cities of Brazil. And yeah, and the streets and the architecture, I think, is very similar. And interestingly, people also speak German, but they have a very old dialect. So it's hard to understand, you know, because it's like more anxious, like depending also on where in Germany they came from. They think they taught their children this more older German maybe, or like a dialect German. So we talked. I was visiting with some other German friends there, and we talked to some people in a restaurant and eating German food, and it was really funny experience. And yeah, it actually feels a little bit like Germany, but it's also not. It's you know that it's not exactly the same. So I think there is a little bit of mixture between Brazilian culture and German culture, but yeah, there is some traditional restaurants, but I mean, it's also, for example, in Blumenau is one of the biggest Oktoberfest outside of Germany. I think, if not the biggest one, right?
Maybe I think it's the second, like the first one. Maybe it's in Canada. I'm not sure.
Okay. So yeah, it's pretty big, and it's funny to see, like, being outside of Germany and Brazilians like so loving this culture. Of course, there's a lot of stereotypes, you know, because Germans don't always wear the traditional
clothes. Yeah.
And we don't always drink beer and so on. But of course, it's a little bit of a tradition, and there was like a band, for example, they sang in German, which was really nice. So yeah, it was a very interesting experience for me to see. Also this, you know, this the people being so fond and interested in experiencing the culture.
Yeah, this is really nice. Like, I never been in that cities, unfortunately, but like it's awesome to. This is the first time that I'm listening from a German saying that you use German in Brazil. Like, you talk to some people in German, of course the old German, but this is like. This is really amazing. Like, this is really amazing. And I know that when we talk about architecture, we say here in Brazil, enxamel. Enxamel, it's like the typical German architecture. Of course, I don't know in German. It's like a word like huge.
Yeah.
And like, this is really nice. And the Oktoberfest maybe is something similar to you, like in your country. Of course, not with the clothes, but
yeah. Actually, the clothes are similar also. I mean, I haven't been to the Munich Oktoberfest yet. I just been to some smaller ones in Germany, so I didn't get the full experience that most people from outside would visit. But yeah, if people go to Oktoberfest, then they dress up in the traditional way, even if they never used this the entire year. So it's kind of, you have to. But an interesting thing is that the dresses here in the Blumenau Oktoberfest were a little bit shorter.
Oh yeah, so, we need to put some Brazilian style. Yeah.
Exactly. Because there is like a saying, like it's more like coming from the tradition that the dresses for women should be until the knee, you know, more or less until the knee, or a little bit stopping like one hand maybe above the knee. And here in Brazil it was a little bit shorter, but still I thought it was very nice to see so many people dressed up like that.
Okay, and about like physical characteristics, like, do you feel that in that region people are a little bit similar of you, like blonde with blue eyes?
To be honest, a lot of colleagues have also mentioned this as, yeah, you know, in the south there are people like you. But then, you know, when you look around, and for example, Sao Paulo is such a like a melting pot with so many different cultures, people from everywhere in the world, and immigrants and children of immigrants and whatever. So I don't really. I mean, this is maybe also one of the biggest stereotypes that people have about Brazilians. Like there is a Brazilian has to look like that, like dark hair, and I don't know, Brazilian women have to look like this. But I see that here on the street, everyone looks different. So maybe blonde hair is not as common as, I say, on average. Maybe I'm more of an outlier. Yeah, but there are plenty of women that are born in Brazil, Brazilian, that have more like characteristics similar to me, maybe.
And do you have any news about Brazil in general? Like, what can you see about Brazil in there? Like, of course, not talking about soccer, because like make me feel really angry about what happened in the World Cup. But
we don't talk anymore about this. No worries.
No, it's forbidden here. It's forbidden here. I want to talk about that. But like in general, like which things that I can see about Brazil?
So in this year, let's say the news are pretty much around COVID, about, I think, which is true for each and every country, but Brazil also, because of the magnitude, was often in the news. And then also, of course, let's say the natural disasters are always in the news in Germany, like Pantanal, what happened. Then the deforestation is a big topic. So let's say, and people in Europe generally are very, let's say, more environmentalist, maybe more oriented toward that. So there's a lot of awareness and a lot of news about this. About politics, a little bit about the president from time to time, but not so much about, of course, like daily what's happening, or not so much. So it's more like, you know, only the big events, or let's say the big facts. Sometimes we have much more news about the US. Let's say on a daily basis there's some news about the US, but Brazil not so much. And here I don't know what you think, looking at Brazilian news, do you feel like there's a lot of coverage about foreign, what's happening in other countries, like foreign news, or what do you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have like on a specific like new. It's just like a big picture. So for example, an interesting fact, we studied about German like in the school. So it's really nice, like about, you know, about Great Wars, about the wall. And like today, well, when we talk about soccer, we are like rivals, so we all definitely talk about that. But yeah, we have just that big picture about like Europe, and other continents in the world. Like of course, US, it's the main spot. So we have like news about Trump, about everything. And yeah, I think that's it. That's it.
Good. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that we talk like everything that we really want to know, and it was really interesting to hear your experiences in Brazil.
May I ask,
Yeah.
wanted to have your opinion or your point of view on something, because we talked a lot about what I feel or my experience about Brazil, but what would you, let's say, what would you say to someone, a gringo or gringa from outside of Brazil? What is for you something special or characteristic about Brazilian culture? Like what should people know about, or what should they experience on their own? What do you think is special?
I think that we, as you said, like we are a warm, like people. So we really want to help. Like, hey, do you want to eat this? So let's go. Do you want to travel there? So we love to share our culture and the way that we live and the food that we eat. So like when we talk about like a warm people, I think that it's this is like so Brazilian in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like what else? We like to like to live, so we are like happy and I want to make you happy as well. So let's go, let's party. And of course, it's not
Yeah.
something so characteristic like as carnival. So maybe foreigners can think that Brazil it's like all the time parties and happy.
Carnival
But
year.
like yeah, but yeah, I think in general we really like foreigners. Like just go to Brazil and we will see. Yeah, I think that's it. And we
Nice.
are like so huge when we talk about culture. Like I can show my culture, but when you go to the north, you have another culture. Like at north, it's something more indigenous, and in the northeast, you have another culture. In the south, it's something from Europe. So like we have different kind of people, I would say. So we have a lot of Brazilians.
Yeah, it's very subjective, but I completely agree with what you said. I also agree with these 2 points. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, and do you have like other Brazilians from other places?
If
Like
I know,
maybe from the north?
not so much from the north, more like from the states around São Paulo, like Minas, like Rio, Goiás, these parts. But no, I don't know many people from the north. So it's, I mean, I go there sometimes, of course, for a trip. But yeah, as you said, it's huge, right? The country is huge, and there's like mini cultures everywhere.
Yeah, like just imagine like spend 4 hours to travel to São Paulo to Manaus, like the capital of Amazonas, like 4 hours in one
Right.
country. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes,
And we
exactly.
have like four zone times as well. So like
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I love this country. Like we can talk about hours
Not forever, but
forever. Yeah, we
I
have
think
so many stuff.
we made a very good end point for our today's
Yeah,
talk, right?
like go to Brazil and you will see. Like that's it.
Definitely,
Just travel to Brazil.
definitely. There's much to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much. And again
Thank
to
you. Really, really enjoyed the talk.
yeah, definitely. So feel invited to go back again, and we're gonna like talk about other stuff. And do you have anything to say
No,
in the end?
I really like I like the initiative, and I would say I hope that this gets going, and more people share their experiences that come from different countries. Also, really appreciate, really like the experience, and yeah, I also agree with your statement. Come to Brazil, don't be scared, and make up your own mind. I think that would be my statement.
Nice, nice. So yeah, guys,
Thank
that's
you.
it. I hope you like it, and I'll see you on the next episode.
See.
Ciao.
Bye bye.